Mark Yates then ahead of Vale at home. I'm imagining at the moment you're just trying to keep the ship as steady as possible, minimum disruption.
Summed it up, yeah, absolutely. We just trying to keep the boys ticking over, working hard and just enjoying it, and they are that. We've had a good week. We'll step it up again today and make sure we're right for Saturday.
It was very solid last week, very pleasing, I would think, at Tranmere.
Yeah, it was, and it has been, for a number of weeks now. And we've just got to keep it going. Nothing different, not get ahead of ourselves, not get overconfident. Just keep believing, keep working hard for each other, and keep performing. It's going to go against us at some stage, and we've got to show other qualities. But at the minute, we've just got to keep doing what we're doing.
Luke Summerfield said after the game that he felt the shape just felt naturally right at the moment, given the players that you have at the club.
Yeah, it does. And I imagined it would, and it's probably going better than I thought in terms of the way. Like I said, I always say I think I've got three of the best midfield players, and that gives us. I was talking to my two centre halves the other day, and their job's made so much easier from the work that goes in front of them, not just immediately with the three boys in the middle of the park, but the forwards and the wide players working as hard as they do. We've got a real good work ethic, and the key now is to keep that up. Whether we change shape, personnel, or whatever, we just got to keep that attitude and belief going.
Tactically now, do you think 4-4-2 is, I wouldn't say a dead formation, but it's almost a formation that fewer and fewer people are using?
I don't think it's a dead formation at all. It's a good starting point for most footballers in Britain. At the minute, we're not using it. At the minute, that said, we might use it Saturday. So we're not ruling out anything. We like to play four at the back, and then after that, we'll sort out where we're going. Formations, it's all about plays. It's not about, it helps if you set them up a certain way, I suppose, sometimes, but it's about the players, and at the minute this season we've got good players.
Josh Lowe and Keith Lowe both came back into the team last week. Both did well on the right. We've now got Luke Garbett available again, Jimmy available, Jack Butler available. What a pleasant problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be tough. I wouldn't like to be the one picking the team this week. I might leave that to James, I think. Or ask the chairman like I normally do. It's a good position to be in. And if we're going to be successful, which we all want, it's the only way to be. They've all got to come back into the reckoning because they've been a big part of what we've been doing. That said, the boys who played did really well, and that's what having a squad's about. And at this moment in time, I don't quite know what I'm going to do, and that's being honest. And that doesn't mean we won't be right. It just means I'm going to have a look at things in training today. Just have a think about it. I've got a couple of DVDs to watch this afternoon of the opposition, and we'll take it from there. We know what we're about. The lads know what I want from them, know what we're trying to do. However we set up, and whatever team we pick, I expect to go out and put in a decent, hard-working performance. And on the top of that, will come their ability and hopefully a result.
Luke was at Tranmere watching, and he was at the end of the warm-up, stood on the touchline, shaking everybody's hand as they went in. That says a lot in the sense of everybody pulling in the same direction, even if they're not in the team, because on Saturday when you put the team sheet up, several are going to be disappointed. Yeah,
they are, absolutely. But that's been the case for the last 3 months, if you like. We've had disappointed players missing out, and that's what we've got. We've got a good spirit, and they all know that everyone's not going to play, and I have no qualms with anyone. People are disappointed, but they're going out there and showing it. Most of the time when their opportunity arises, and within the, we only make 2, 1, 2, 3 changes. It's a lot better, and all we do is trying to pick teams to win games. We have no favourites, no individual favourites. Just a lot of good players desperate to play, and if, like I said, we've done before, we've rested one or two at the right time, and we'll continue to try and do that to make sure everyone's ready, everyone's fresh, and we have no one in the treatment room and that's fantastic, and that's testament to the work that goes on behind the scenes with, where's Jason and the staff who try and cover every eventuality, try and work players to the maximum without breaking them, and so far, the planning and preparation that's gone into it has worked well.
And at the moment too, you're going, at least going forward anyway, Saturday to Saturday, not many midweek games. That must help too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. But when you're winning games, you almost want games on a Tuesday. So we've got a run of some really tough games now, right through to January the 2nd, when we play Port Vale away. Again, 7 games between now and then in the league, and 6 of them are against teams in the top half of the table, and above. So it's going to be a really tough stretch for us, but one we're looking forward to, and we just got to keep working hard.
Vale, like a lot of teams, including yourselves, possibly better away than at home? Yeah,
possibly at the moment. I think so. But Mickey 11, well set up, well organised, competitive, strong, and they've got good players. I keep reading that this player's out, that player's out, this player's suspended. They've got good players to step in, and Mickey knows the time of day, and it's going to be a tough game on Saturday, and one we can't take lightly. And we've got to be at our best to get anything from. As you say, if you look at our form, home and away, in terms of the stats on the wins, draws, and defeats, our own form's actually better than our away form. We've 5-1 and 2, 5-1 and 3. So, I'm not worried about that. We'll just take each game as it comes, keep trying our best, and making sure that we put in the effort that gets you points.
Well, going back through your time, matches against Vale and before it, they've always been close.
Yeah, always been close. I think we had a 0-0 and a 1-0 last season. I don't anticipate a glut of goals, but that said, that's what we'll be trying to do. We'll be trying to go out and win the game. We'll try to score goals and entertain. We'll just see what happens.
A word about Sido. You've done an extended deal with him.
Yep.
Has that come round quicker than you might have thought? Because he's clearly impressed in the last 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah, perhaps. He's a really good lad. He's terrifically athletic. He's been great to have around the place. Didn't moan when he's been out of the team, not getting a chance. Got his chance, and I think he's one that's just grasped it with both hands. And it's not a cue for other players to come and knock on the door. It's we'll reward people as and when, and with their different situations. Sido's contract was up in the summer, as are a number of others, but it was the right time. He's been rewarded for excellent performances. We took him from non-league, and he wasn't on fantastic money. He's still not on fantastic money, but we've given him a little boost just as a bit of a reward, and make sure that we keep our better players.
And would you also say that the fact that he waited a while before he got a chance enabled him to acclimatise a bit and look at what was happening, and then maybe make an impact more quickly?
Good management, that's called in. That's picking the right time for him. We knew we got a decent player. We didn't know where to play him, because I think he can play in 4, 5, 6 positions. We just felt the time was right for him to come in against Bristol Rovers. He's played only right back and left back. He tells me he can play off a striker, up front, centre half, and I think he probably could. He's that type of player, and we want those around. He was so easy to do. Offered him a contract, and it was in his own inimitable way. It's not about anything other than being here. Brilliant, and it was done. That was the end of the negotiating. It was the simplest deal I've ever had to do in my entire career, and he's been a joy to have around the place, and he's only going to get better.
Does that infectiousness rub off on other people?
That's what we want. Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds like a manager's dream, Mark. Sido.
He's decent. If you look at, the way he plays, he's athletic. I actually think on Saturday, when we went up to Tranmere, not having Luke Garbett played into our hands. I went to watch him against Chesterfield. I've seen a couple of DVDs, and the right winger Akins, 6'2", target from the goalkeeper's kicks, against Luke 5'10", might have won more headers. They put one in the first minute. They put one on over on the right hand side to their winger, and Sido beat him in the air. And I think that just summed up that lad's afternoon. They switched him at half time. He can play right back, left back. He can play. I think he can play anywhere, and I really do believe that. If I gave him the opportunity, he'd just go out and he just wants to play football and enjoy himself. And he must be horrible to play against as a winger, because he's a rash. He's all over them, but he can also play as well.
Yeah, I remember you saying once he's not a natural striker of the ball. Is that something you can do anything about with work?
I say he's not a natural striker. I think that's probably me being a bit harsh on him, really. I think he's seeing things quicker now, and he's moving the ball and seeing things that we're trying to get him to see, and he's doing that really well. And I think that's probably the first couple of games he came in, I didn't think he was seeing the passes that we wanted him to see. I think, and I think he was then getting it caught, and I think now he knows what we're after. I think it's just becoming natural too.
Yeah, I know you're not going to give the team away, and you might not have even decided yourself at the moment. When
I genuinely haven't.
When you've got to decide between a player who's come in and done really well and the player who's coming back, what sort of process do you go through? How do you make those big? How do you actually make those big decisions? Because it must be a nightmare at the time.
Well, normally we have a cup of tea, put some names on a piece of paper, put them in a bag, and pick them out. It's a really tough one. Whoever gets left out Saturday, can feel aggrieved, but I'll just do what I do. I'll do what I think's the best for the team, for the club, for the group of players out there to win the game. And we're going to have to be strong, competitive, but we're also going to have to play. We have to be patient, but we're going to have to play with the tempo. So it's lots of different factors, and like I say, I'll just pick what I think's right.
Yeah, something quite funny the chairman said to me is that you've done so well this season. He's actually paying more out on bonuses than he expected, even though crowds have been good. So that shows that you've maybe exceeded expectations. How far do you think you are ahead of pre-season targets yourself?
Well, we're 6 points ahead of where we were this time last season. Pre-season targets, we didn't really have any on a match by match basis, bar the fact that we are where we want to be, where we hoped we'd be, where we believed we could be, and the key now is to find the formula to keep that going. We believe we can do it. We've got the players, we've got a squad, and we're always looking to improve in every department in terms of bringing in. Do we bring another player in? Do we need to bring another 2 players in? Do we, what do we do with the boys to keep them fresh? We're trying to improve everything, and we weren't in that position last year, and we're a lot better for it.
Yeah, you've trimmed Carl Haynes and Ethan Moore from the squad. I know they probably weren't on massive money, but does it give you any sort of breathing space in terms of recruitment?
Nah, not really. Just wish them both, well in their futures. It was just the right thing to do for both concerned and the football club, and I don't see that freeing up any money really. As you say, they weren't on the biggest of wages here. They were here for the opportunity. But I'm going to keep knocking on the chairman's door. I've been to games all week, and I'll continue to go to games. The transfer deadline's next Tuesday for any loans that we might be able to bring in. We've got 20 at the moment, plus Gallas and Birdie who are out on loan at other clubs, and we'll just see where we go over the next week. And if there's something out there that really grabs our attention, then I'll keep asking and see and try and bring in. But at the minute we're comfortable. We're just trying to sort out exactly where we are with 1 or 2 other things.
Yeah, there's been stories this week in Nationals about big clubs being interested in Jack Button and Sunderland and stuff like that. And as time goes by, it really looks more of a coup that you pulled off bringing him here. A quality goalkeeper of England under 21.
Yeah. I think it is. I think he's proven himself. He's 18, and they're obviously going to be, but other clubs watching. But that's not my concern. That's Chris Hughton's concern and Birmingham's concern, but they're doing what they're doing with Jack, sending him here to get experience to go into to play for them. He's Birmingham. They've got a lone goalkeeper on loan from West Brom at the moment, who's in the first team. They've got a number 2 who's been there for a number of years. Jack's 18, getting Football League experience. I think that's also giving him the edge into the England under 21 side. So he's done brilliant for us, and we've been good for him, and we've just got to see where that one goes.
Yeah, just finally, you said you're not expecting a queue of players now all demanding new contracts, but of the other lads who've got 1 year, have quite a lot of them got clauses in that will mean the club's in a strong position?
There's different situations, and I'm not, like I say, it was the right time to get Sido sorted. I say as a little reward. He's not on big money, and he wasn't, yesterday on any. We've given him a little bit more because we think he thoroughly deserves it, and we think he's one for the future for us.
Yeah.